So yesterday I posted my video titled Pixel Fold versus Galaxy Z Fold, two incredible devices. This video is almost 20 minutes long, and in it what I did is I compared those two devices, two of my all-time favorite devices. I know that the Pixel Fold's only been out for a short amount of time, but it is rapidly becoming one of my favorite devices of all time. I really, really enjoy the device. I really, really enjoyed the Z Fold. I think that's clear by how many videos, how often I have talked about that device. So in that video, like I said, I was comparing those two devices. And I think that by the end of the video, the pros and cons I laid out for both end up being fairly even. However, it is clear that my preference is towards the Pixel Fold. But I say in the video that both devices are very, very good and that they are quite close for me. They're very similar in many, many ways. I talk about this throughout the entire video. However, there is one portion of this video that has angered some folk. Angered them in ways that I could have never imagined. The comments that I have read, received, blocked, deleted over the last day, some of them have been honestly mind-boggling. The vitriol, the anger that it has spurred in people. A video talking about phones is difficult for me to wrap my head around. And I do my best to just laugh them off and to, oh, silly, crazy commenters. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating to be insulted in the various ways that I've been insulted over the last day. In this video, though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that portion of the video, which I admit I could have been clearer with what I was trying to get across. I'm going to try to effectively double down and tell you guys more clearly exactly what I'm meaning. So the portion of the video in question was the portion where I was talking about the orientation by default of the Z Fold 4 versus the orientation by default of the Pixel Fold. Portrait versus landscape and the ramifications of that. And as I went through this, I showed you guys a couple of different applications. We'll do Gmail again. And I talked about how on the Pixel Fold, you get tablet layout applications a lot of the time. Dual pane. Basically, this is a big phone mode. This is an actual tablet mode. And the comment that I keep getting, sometimes in a reasonable way and sometimes in entirely unreasonable ways, is that I should rotate this device because when you rotate this device, you are in fact going to get the same layout. I somehow just turned it off. Okay, did I just go dead? What just happened? Boy, that was weird. Don't know what to make of that. What is going on? Is my Z Fold? What is happening? What is going on? So that was super weird. Maybe that's why I didn't show it in landscape orientation, because it kept doing weird crashing things. Anyways, when you put it in landscape orientation, you get the same layout as you do on the Pixel Fold. And I hear you, okay? Like, I get that. Again, a lot of people commented that, and I understand what you're saying. And yes, I probably should have taken the time to show this exact thing and to make that more clear. That's a mistake that I probably did in fact make. But let me explain what my reasoning was in that video. And maybe the best way to do this is to just show you the pinned comment and read the pinned comment that so many of you type your comment right above without reading. So what I wrote here is, when we talk about these two devices, there is a big philosophical difference between the two approaches. By opening to a landscape orientation, Google is prioritizing it and is therefore trying to push apps to accommodate tablets. They are also pushing the end user towards tablet layouts. In my opinion, that is the direction we should be pushing towards. Having big phone apps seems like a waste of time by comparison. Of course, you can rotate your Z Fold, but by choosing a portrait layout, Samsung is not prioritizing true tablet apps. When you look at the Z Fold 4, or any of the Z Fold devices, to me, it's quite obvious that they did not start with the cover display, right? There was no meeting where they said, we're going to make a foldable, but you know what we really got to make sure we have? A super tall, super skinny screen, and then whatever the tablet layout is, we'll just work with it. No, it's the exact opposite. They came up with this first. This aspect ratio came first, and then they said, well, that would mean our cover display would look like this. And in fact, the original Z Fold, they actually shortened it. They had these enormous bezels on the top and bottom to try and counteract how tall this cover display was going to be. But people didn't like that either, so they went this route. But again, I think it's extremely obvious that this is where they started. Okay, so why did they start with this aspect ratio? Why did they start with a portrait vertical aspect ratio? I think that this is also extremely obvious. When this device was being made, and even still now, currently, a lot of phone applications do not have a tablet layout. They just don't. So they said, let's make a foldable, so something opens up into a tablet. Well, you know what? Most apps don't really work well on tablets as it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an aspect ratio that is close enough to a phone that nothing's going to be all that weird. Most of your apps will just scale to it relatively well, and you're just going to get a bigger canvas of phone applications. That is, again, I keep saying this, it is so plainly obvious that that is their strategy. Samsung's strategy is big phone apps. If it weren't, it wouldn't be shaped like this, and it wouldn't be shaped like this. When you talk about the Pixel Fold, that is not the case, okay? They clearly wanted this to be their tablet layout. They wanted it to be a true tablet. And because of that, what I'm saying is there is a very, very large, a massive philosophical difference in the approaches by these two OEMs. Samsung is prioritizing big phone apps. Yes, you can rotate it, but that's not their primary intent. That's not what the device is designed for. It doesn't open up in that orientation. Just like the Pixel Fold, yes, you can rotate it and get big phone apps, but nobody thinks that that's what they want you to be doing. They want you to be here, and Samsung wants you to be here. If they didn't, they'd make a different device. To me, this should be completely uncontroversial. I want to make this part extremely clear. I am not being dismissive of the fact that you can rotate your Z Fold 4 to get tablet layouts. I have been telling people about that for years. The reason I didn't spend any time on it in that video was because I thought I'd spent enough time on it already. I thought it was something enough people understood. I thought that it went without saying. But that was my mistake. It doesn't go without saying. If you do go without saying it, you're going to be attacked with the vitriol, the hatred, the heat of 1,000 suns. That's just how the internet works, apparently. I'm sorry. I should have said it in the video. It really is this simple. From my perspective, we have two OEMs taking a very different approach. One OEM is pushing its users and hopefully app developers towards true tablet layouts, towards using true tablet layouts and making true tablet layouts. The other OEM seems to be more than happy for their users to use scaled up phone applications and then rotate the device when a tablet layout app happens to exist. A lot of people are going to open up apps and never know that, hey, if I rotate it, I'm going to actually get a better experience out of my app, because that's just not where the Fold is pushing them. It's not something that it's encouraging them actively to be doing. So hopefully I've made myself a lot more clear in this video than I did in that prior video. Like I said, mistakes were made. I assumed what people were going to know, what people were carrying in. I assumed that a lot of the people watching had probably seen my prior videos, and a lot of them hadn't. And so, yeah, that kind of blew up in my face a little bit, and people got so very angry with me that I felt like I needed to clarify in this video. If you watched this video, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friend.